okay, hey, okay, hey, okay, hey. Okay, hey, I'm with my sis Brandi, and it ain't a joke. We're gonna talk about your voice, cause it's your vote. And at the end of the day, step in, okay? Cause you could change in the next best way. Hey, go vote. Hey, go vote. Hey, it's not a joke. Hey, it's not a joke. Ooh.
I love it.
Wait a minute. Hold on, wait, is that like a song for real?
That is.
Every election?
We should record that. We should record that for sure. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
No, y'all, the reason why...
Off the dome, pretty dope.
Okay, thank you for saying that, because I don't think y'all really be knowing this be a freestyle for real. But, like, I was like, wait, this sounds like it's like a young people anthem to inspire people to vote.
Yes, I love it. Let's do it. Let's get back in the studio.
Back in the studio.
Back in the studio.
Okay, but here's the thing. Y'all saw it here first, okay? All right, familia. You know what time it is. What's up, beautiful people? ¿Qué pasó, hermosas personas? Listen, this is a very... Honestly, I have to tell you all, I love all the episodes. They're all my favorite. But this one right here definitely is going, like, given top of the list.
Okay.
Definitely top of the list, primarily because it is inspiring the voice as the vote. It is inspiring us all to do our research, do our homework, and realize that, listen, we can change the trajectory of a lot of things with just our vote. Okay, so welcome to another episode of the cOHllab. Today I have my good sis, Brandi Williams.
Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
Because let me tell you, she is everything.
Oh, thank you. That's
for real.
Very nice.
No, for real. Brandi's absolutely everything. I had the pleasure of knowing her for some years.
Yeah.
And to see the work that she's doing as the program director for the Eatman
Project.
Yes! To see how my sister's doing for the program director for the Eatman Project, it makes me extremely joyous, but that's just who Brandi is. However, today, we're going to bring you all something very fun that, yep, you can do from your home, you can do on lunch break, you can do on your free time. We want to talk to you about a civic engagement app. Shout out to the For the Struggle Familia. They are the founders, curators, the developers of said app. And you know what I love? It's inspiring us to know what exactly is civic engagement and how does that work? Brandi?
All right. So the game is called Civic Trivia, and we play on Kahoot. So like you said, everybody can play on their own, and you can go to our website and actually play the game. But the goal of the game is to educate people on how your vote actually counts. You know, so many times people say, well, my vote doesn't count. It's because they don't really understand the process behind it. And then also the accountability that goes after your vote. So it doesn't end at the vote.
Right.
There are levels of accountability, and there are ways that we can get involved to make sure our voices are heard. The vote is the first step, right? So there's so many ways after that. And so in the app, we teach you about the Electoral College and what that means for presidential elections. We also talk about the role of the U.S. Senate and its relationship to the president. Also state senators, right? So we have U.S. senators and state senators and the difference between the two, what they actually do, and then local government. So we talk about local Charlotte politics so that you understand the difference between what the city does and what the county does, because a lot of times people will call and they will, you know, things will get drug out because they're calling the wrong place. So we want you to know who's there. But like I said, there are also opportunities to get involved. So we teach you about precinct captains and, you know, what that looks like to actually get involved at the precinct level, how to get involved with different parties so that your voice starts to be heard, so that you can then be a delegate to go to the DNC or the RNC to be able to help figure out who's going to be our president as a part of that electoral college. So we're not in those rooms. There's so many other opportunities, like we're going to be sponsoring an opportunity for people to do canvas monitoring at the Board of Elections. So that means as they're counting votes, we can be in there and ask questions. Why did you take that vote out? Why is that ballot not being counted? What's going on? So that we can make sure and hold them accountable. So all of those things.
Ooh, so good, so good. You all listen, and here's the thing. If you love it just as much as I do, I already know you do. What I love is, again, it's an app, okay? So they're tackling the game land in a way, but when I tell you all, I played it myself. Not only is it super engaging, very fun, very user-friendly, but also, full transparency, y'all, your girl, yes, your favorite, my score was low. My score was low. I was like, oh my goodness, for so long, I think I let the narrative of my vote not mattering, you know, just skew me knowing so much about as much as I could about civic engagement. And let me tell you, embarrassed, but I love the app for that very reason.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed. And that's exactly why I created it, because I wanted it to challenge people, and I knew that they didn't know. So it's not to make you feel bad or embarrassed. It's really to help us understand what's going on. And we love, so we do workshops, so we can bring it out and play the game with a group of people. And so what I love about that, because we've done it, is that then we get to answer questions. People get to say, hey, well, why was that the answer? Because the game does tell you what the answer is, and it gives you a little bit of explanation, but then we get to go a little bit deeper. I remember with one presentation we had, a young lady was really questioning, you know, why should I vote in the presidential election if the Electoral College decides? And so we had to explain that the way that the Electoral College works is that across the state, whoever wins the state, so let's say we're in Mecklenburg County and one candidate wins in Mecklenburg County, if the rest of the state chooses the other party, all of our Electoral College votes go to that person, right? So if we're, let's just use this election. Let's say that in this election, Kamala takes Mecklenburg County, but Trump takes most of North Carolina. North Carolina's Electoral College votes will go to Trump.
Okay, I'm understanding now. Okay,
and so the purpose of that is because they want the voice of the entire state. Because that is like the majority of the states follows or supports this particular candidate.
Understood.
Right? So that's why it works like that. But what that means is, and why it's so important for us to be involved, is that means that we can talk to our friends across the state.
That's right.
We can talk to our friends, you know, in different counties and tell them why they should vote whatever way we want them, you know, whatever it is. So we have an opportunity to do that. We also have an opportunity, like I said, to get involved at the precinct level. So for every time you go vote, you vote at a certain precinct. And there's actually a group of people there that works to organize the precinct. And so they make election rules and different things, and we can be involved. All you have to do is, these are open and public meetings, and so we can show you how to get involved there. And as well, just the accountability level with like the election board monitoring. They have the election board meets once a month. We can go to those meetings to find out what laws they're putting in place, what voting laws are changing. Like, all of these things are available to us, but we just don't know. And that's the information that we're hoping to be able to spread with this game. So the game brings people together, and then we're able to share this other information from there.
Absolutely. Definitely adding to our arsenal of knowing. So look, y'all heard here first from my sis Brandi. Don't be embarrassed. So if you're like me and you're in an era of brushing up on the importance of your vote, your voice, all the things, the breakdown of civic engagement, how it works from top to bottom. Look, join me on this game. When I tell y'all I play it, I kid you not, and I'm not just saying that because this is our episode, y'all. I really did play it, and I allowed my fiance to get in on it, allowed some homies to get in on it. It was really cool. And you know what I love? It was an opportunity for us, again, to add more knowledge because we fall for so much rhetoric and narrative. And, you know, not to mention how, you know, people spend money on a lot of these commercials and the propaganda and all the things on every side. And it's important to know for yourself. And that's what I love about this game. You also used one of my favorite words, community. I have to tell you, it definitely carries that energy. Did you all do that intentionally?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Break that down as to why. Yes, it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong, y'all, but I love that anybody can get in on it. So good.
The goal was for us to be able to put it out there so that people could play on their own, but also if they wanted us to come and actually host a workshop or be able to explain the concepts, because ultimately after the election, our goal is to help build advocates, to help build grassroots leaders so that they understand how to get involved, because the vote is just where you start, right? That's the starting place, because then you put people in office, and now you have to say, I put you there. I need to hold you accountable for the things that we want to see happen, right? And so it's very difficult to stay abreast of everything that's going on in Raleigh or in D.C., but if we have people that are involved at the local level that can share that, can help you, and I think you said something that was really important, we get caught up in the media narrative. And we really need to be able to understand ourselves what's actually happening. And as I started doing this work, I started understanding the nuances behind the scenes, and those are the things I want to be able to share, that For the Struggle wants to be able to share with the Charlotte community. We want you to understand the ins and outs so that we know how to work the system. You can't work the system if you don't know how it works.
Y'all know what time. That's. Rewind. Say that one more again.
You cannot work the system if you don't know how the system works. So you got to know what's actually happening, and you got to know the players, and you have to know how things move,
right?
So that you can actively insert yourself in the process.
Whew. Y'all, I have chills. I kid you not, chills. Because that's another one of the things that comes up a lot too, Brandi, is, well, you know, the system is broken. Mm-hmm. And I love, because I've heard it on the internet, also read up on it, I love how someone put it, the system isn't broken, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. And the best thing you could do is equip yourself with knowledge, understanding, so we could push the needle on some of the things we wish to change.
Exactly. And so I'm glad you said wish to change, because one of the biggest things for me is if I constantly think about the civil rights movement. And I think about, you know, the things that they would not accept, that they knew that they wanted to change. And so, yes, this is the system, but it doesn't have to stay the system. So if we think the system is broken, then we have an opportunity to fix it. We don't have to say, well, that's just how it is, or it is what it is. I want us, through this learning opportunity, to learn how we insert ourselves to change the system, right? So if you've watched any of, you know, Selma or Shirley, which is on Netflix now, and Rustin, all of that, those are all ways to learn about how it works. You kind of see, especially in Shirley, where Regina King played Shirley Chisholm.
Ooh, and
did. And in that movie, you get to see exactly how Shirley Chisholm really had a chance to win. At the very end, people turned their backs on her, and that's how she lost. She stayed in the fight and could have actually won the Electoral College votes to be able to be the Democratic nominee, but something, you know, it just failed. That she was the delegate votes. So just watching that, and then having the foresight with this game, putting that together. And so we are going to do a movie series. After the election, we're going to do a movie series. We're going to watch Rustin. We're going to watch Shirley. We're going to watch Kimba. All of these movies actually talk about how to advocate. Like Kimba is a lot about, I don't know if you know Kimba Smith. She was a young lady at Hampton University, got involved with a guy who was a drug dealer. He was a big drug dealer. She ended up going to prison for his stuff, and so the advocacy on her behalf to get her out, you know, learning that process, the things that her parents went through. We'll talk about the advocacy involved in that. Also, the advocacy and the behind the scenes of the not the Million March, but the March on Washington. And then looking at the Electoral College process and just the politics behind candidates running, so that we start to understand what that looks like, and we can strategize as a community about what it looks like for us to fix the things that we don't like, because we have that power. We're just giving it up when we don't show up to vote, when we don't stay involved after the election, because we just don't know.
We just don't know. But this is an opportunity for you to not only know, but get in community. And I love the word you use, B, strategize. Ooh, because again, a lot of the narrative, the dollars spent with the ads on our phones, to our TVs, to our radios tell us, you know, we're powerless. Or at least that's the feeling and the emotion around this season for me. It comes up often, and I ain't talking about y'all, I'm talking about me. And if you feel me, then that's exactly why you need to watch this episode and download this app. But for so long, I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing I can change. Strategizing, community, these are the things that we literally have at our fingertips, you all, even social media, to, again, pass on the knowledge, learn more, research. Talk about that research part, Brandi, because
So I'm going to use my cousin as an example. She lives in Maryland. And there is an item that's going to be on their ballot. So the county that she lives in is looking at changing their organizational structure. And so she was like, I'm so confused because I don't know, you know, which way to vote. She said it's a very contentious issue, and most of the people in my county are saying that they're going to vote against it. She said, but I'm really, you know, I want to know both sides. And so she's doing the work to understand what's actually actually happening, because because what you hear in the media is vote this way or vote that way, but they're not explaining to you how it impacts your daily life, how it will change, what's actually happening. And so we sat down and went through and started to we asked ChatGPT, help us understand the difference between this and this. And, I'm connecting her with resources on the ground. And so that's the way that we need to approach every election. And she told me yesterday, she was like, I'm just ready for this election to be over. Because what you hear is so much slander.
I'm telling you.
No one's actually talking about how this person is going to change our lives. At the end of the day, that's what we really want to know. How is, if I put you in office, going to make what I'm experiencing every day better?
Exactly.
And when I talk to young people, what they tell me, the reason that they don't vote is because nothing changes for them. My life doesn't change after the election, right?
I'm telling you.
Nothing changes. And so because nothing changes, I don't understand why I need to go vote. But things do change, right?
Okay.
Things change. It's just how long it takes. Things change at a very local level faster. And so we tell people also the importance of midterm elections, actually voting in the midterm elections. So we're in a general election, the presidential season. There's a lot of energy around it. So people are always like in it. But in 2 years, we'll be voting again. We'll be voting for our, state senators and our U.S. senators and local government. Those are really important elections. And those are important elections because when you think about the power that the president has, the president has no power without the Senate or the House. Right? And so the Senate and the House have to support the president's policies. And so if we don't vote in those midterms, we don't give the president the support that they need. So let's say we have a Democratic president and we have a Republican House, a majority Republican House and a majority Republican Senate. That means that anything that we did that we want our president to do that he said on the campaign trail probably is not going to pass because he doesn't have the support. But we didn't show up in the midterm to give him the support that he needed or she needed to be able to carry things on. It's a little better at the local elections. I mean, when you come down to state and local elections, because it's not about an electoral college, but it's about popular vote. But there is, gerrymandering, right?
I was just about to bring that up. I've heard so much on both sides, even maybe some falsities, being fully transparent. Again, because I'm just now getting into the research. Gerrymandering, right.
So this is the way I like to explain it. One, the Electoral College is really about the national presidential vote. Gerrymandering is a lot about local elections. And so what they do is we call it packing and stacking. So they'll basically pack all the black people in one district and say, hey, y'all can have that. And then they separate the others. And so what ends up happening is we don't get all of our voice isn't heard throughout the state. We get one, they're like, you can have this and have that one representative, and then we don't have enough support. So that's, again, a reason that we need to be at these precinct levels. We need to fight against gerrymandering. We need to understand when it's happening. We need to understand the importance of that, and then also understand the importance of voting down ballot for the presidential election. Just don't vote for president. Understand everything that's down that ballot, because everything, again, rolls up, right? Who you choose for your local elections actually need to be able to support policies that come from the top. So we need their voices. They usually are the ones that then run to go to state and federal. And so we want to have those voices. We want to have people that we can trust as they progress through their political careers. And then we also want to make sure that we provide the support for the people at the different levels. So again, if we don't have that support at the bottom, then we don't have that. But you're going to feel the local stuff a lot sooner. So you're going to feel the changes to your school board, and you have access to those people a lot more readily. So that's all on the ballot. Like, I think I was on a call last week, and they said that this ballot this year, I think the Mecklenburg County ballot is 3 pages long. So when you go to vote, it's going to be 3 pages. So please, it's very important that you vote in every single one of those contests. There are going to be judges on there, and those judges are really important. And I'll tell you, the last election, we had a change. So after 276 days, they reversed the decision that was made for, we had people who had felony convictions in North Carolina couldn't vote until they finished their parole or probation and had paid all of their fines. So the Supreme Court overturned that because we had a good Supreme Court. 276 days after the election, because we did not get the right people in office, they overturned that. So the people had one election that they could vote in, and after that, they can't. So now, if it went back to what it was before, they can still vote in North Carolina, but it's after they actually complete their probation and parole.
Right. And see, these are the things that, again, are happening right under our noses.
Exactly.
From school to even I think about college tuition to when I think about how it affects grants to listen, young people, I'm bringing it down your road. And I understand because I've been you. You're like, well, how does this matter to me? I really hope that you're listening to my good sis, Brandi, because at the end of the day, it comes down to you, right? If we think even the wages, some of you all are like doing the whole job hunting thing. You ready to get your first whip, Listen, it comes down to you, right? So just understanding what you need to know. So when you want to do a lot of these things, go to college, buy a car, again, it affects you. You have the knowledge that you need to be successful.
Exactly.
Wow. Brandi, I always love to leave an episode of the cOHllab with just advice, but particularly on this episode, I want you to talk to young people, young adults. So the Amazing Familia is comprised of the best, but I got to tell you, I have a large demographic who are in college.
Yes. Amazing.
And then a lot of them, for a shout out to my middle schoolers and my high schoolers. So from middle school, high school, and a lot of just college young adults. And they're professional and they're killing it and they're on their way. But I would love for you to speak to them, give advice on why this is such an important, political election season and how their voice matters through the vote.
So I'm going to start with our middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to start cultivating that civic responsibility at that level. So please, if you're in middle school, there's a kids voting.
Okay.
They have that, and it's going to start soon. I don't remember the exact date, but I'll get it to you so you can share it. But there's kids voting, so it doesn't count in the national election, but it gets you in the habit of actually voting, understanding what's on the election. And then for our high schoolers, the same thing. You can participate in kids voting, but the other thing with high schoolers is you can pre-register to vote at 16.
Okay.
So when you go to the DMV to get your permit, they'll ask you if you want to pre-register to vote. And you can do that. So right when you turn 18, you'll automatically be registered to vote and can go vote, right?
Nice.
So at 16, you can pre-register. But there's also a program. I used to sit on the board of a organization called Generation Nation.
Okay.
And it's a civic engagement organization for students here in Mecklenburg County, high school students. And so they actually have a student representative that sits on the school board.
Nice.
And so they get to meet with the city council, the county commission, the school board. They get to build a political agenda for students in Mecklenburg County and take that to the local leaders. So it gets you starting to understand what that looks like. Nice. So I'm going to give a shout out to Generation Nation and the work that they do. So get involved with that. Learn about Generation Nation. And then from our college students, I know I didn't vote the entire time I was in college.
Okay, good, because I was about to say.
I didn't. They would have the voter registration and they were like, well, are you going home to vote? And of course you say yes, because I'm not going to stop at your table and fill out this voter registration. So you say, yeah, I'm going to go home and vote, or I have my absentee ballot.
Accurate.
But I was completely clueless about that. So let me break it down. Absentee ballots, you have to request your absentee ballot to be able to vote in your home county or home state. And so those deadlines are coming up. Check your county Board of Elections, where you live, so that you'll be able to know that. But you can also register to vote in Mecklenburg County. And we would love, if you're going to be here for 4 years, for you to participate locally. And so because we're in early voting season from now into November 2nd, if you missed the voter registration deadline for Mecklenburg County, you can go and register to vote and cast your vote during early voting.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. So from today, October 17th to November 2nd, you can actually go to any of the early voting sites and register to vote and cast your vote. So for my college students who are here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and you have not requested your absentee ballot, you're not going to make it home to vote, please register and vote during early voting.
So good.
It's, and so then everybody else on November 5th, please make sure you get out and vote. And again, there are judges on there. There are local people. There are senators, state and federal. Yeah. These are all people that we need. If you're voting for president and you have somebody that you want in office, you got to make sure that you are actually getting them the support they need. So vote all the way down the ballot. research everything on the platform, on the people on the platform. And the other thing I would say is it's extremely important that we have these conversations, these political conversations amongst our friends. So the way that you talked about sharing the game with your fiance and with, friends, that's what we want, right?
Okay,
we want people to do that because we want to normalize having these conversations over Thanksgiving, over the holidays.
Yes.
We want that to be normal conversation. When we sit down and we talking about, what Krishan and Blueface are doing, we need to also be talking about what's going on with Medicaid reform, what's going on with our local schools, and all those things. We need to have those types of conversations as well.
Absolutely. And, to also piggyback off of that, I want to say thank you for being a safe space, which also brings up another point that I think is important is creating the space for people to learn. Thank you so much for this time, because full transparency, I was a little nervous because I was like, I'm going to be honest with Brandi, because you're my sister regardless. But I was like, I'm going to be honest with the Amazing Familia. I'm just tapping in because now being super involved in so many things that mean a lot to me, it's impacted by who is in leadership. Exactly. And that made me want to step up in my research. And so thank you for providing a safe space. Shout out to the Amazing Familia for not judging me. And I think that it's an opportunity for all of us. This is the perfect time to just get acclimated with your knowledge. As Brandi said, look, I would recommend it. I'm doing it as well. Go down the platforms, the people on the platforms, and do your research, okay? And read.
Yes.
And verify sources. Amen. So yes, don't just take it all in. No, you got to sift through. And of course, download the app. How can we get our hands on it, Brandi?
So you can go to our website and there's a link there where you can play, and I'll also share it with you so you can share it on, IG. So it's actually just a link. So all you have to do is click the link and it'll come right up. There is a Kahoot link and you can put it in, but you can go straight from the link and just do it from the browser in your phone. And if you guys are interested in having us come out and host a workshop, we will love to do that as well. And even after the election, I still want to keep this going. I want people to be able to understand. I want to continue, again, normalizing the conversation. And one thing I think is really important for me to say is that For the Struggle is nonpartisan.
Yes.
That means that we aren't advocating for any political party.
That's right.
We aren't advocating for any political candidate.
That's right.
We just want to make sure that people understand how their vote matters and that they are getting involved and that we can help them. We can facilitate that process for them.
That's right. And I'm with y'all. Listen, I'm not for the politics, I'm for the people. Amen. And that's making sure that they have knowledge. Everybody has a chance to thrive in this place that we said one nation under who? Okay.
God, yes.
Okay, so I'm not the politic person, I'm the people person, okay? And speaking of, listen, here's what I need you to do. Follow the people who are doing incredible work for our people. Please shout out real quick to Alicia. Shout out to For the Struggle. We love you so much, Alicia. Shout out to For the Struggle and all they are doing. Definitely, don't worry. Look below because I'm going to add all of their social media handles as well as their website. Brandi, shout out to you. Thank you for what you do. And thank you that you never stopped. Right? I feel like a lot of times we don't say that enough to the people who do this work, even beyond this hot season.
Yes,
you do it 365. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, seriously. And Amazing Family, I love you. Young people, I know you watching. I love you too. And look, share this with the homies. Share all the clips. Share the link and download Kahoot. I got you on Instagram. Okay, y'all. See you soon. This was the cOHllab. See you later.